Hi there, Reetu. It's nice to see that you've written your first set of essays for us. Okay, let's see what you did here. The first task is schools, entertaining or merely educational. Let's see what you said. Okay, in this competitive era, life of schoolgoers, the life of schoolgoers has become more and more difficult. Acquiring knowledge to run a rat race behind success is in trend. Many people opine that educational institutes should have other curricular activities despite the fact that their main motive is to provide academic knowledge. I completely agree with the former statement and will give my opinion in upcoming paragraphs with suitable examples. Okay, just one little thing. Try to use lowercase and capital letters when you write. Reading in all caps is really challenging, so try to avoid it, okay? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this paragraph. This expression right here is awkward. I see that you're trying to use an idiom, and that's good. I'm glad that you're trying to do that, although I don't know if this entire phrase is accurate or appropriate. So acquiring knowledge, you don't mean to run a rat race behind, this doesn't make sense, okay? So acquiring knowledge in order to get ahead is a trend. That's essentially what you mean here, and it's more appropriate for this context. So many people opine that educational institutes should have other curricular activities despite the fact that their main motive is to provide academic knowledge. Just saying curricular activities doesn't really help. You need to talk about these curricular activities being ones that are entertaining. That's the point here, because a lot of times people get lost in the idea that, oh, well, if they have extracurricular activities like sports or like art, whatever, then it's fine. But that's not what they mean, okay? So school itself has to be more entertaining, more enjoyable, more fun. All right, anyway, let's look at the body paragraphs here, okay? Life without education is like a bird without wings. Gaining fundamental education is important, but all study, no play, makes Jack a dull boy. Hence, school management should indulge students in recreational activities to rejuvenate them by holding some sports competitions or other activities, because due to competition in every field, students study around the clock to take place in the race of success, and due to this fact, some students under stressful conditions attempt suicides or not scoring high marks on their examinations. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's fix some things here. First of all, let's try to remain academic and not so poetic. Okay, so let's skip the similes about birds without wings. Okay, and this little idiom here, makes Jack a dull boy, also is not appropriate. What you really just need to do is to be concise and straightforward and answer the question. So I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to show that you have familiarity and flexibility with idioms and higher level, less common vocabulary, but this is really not helping your purpose here. All right? So, life without education, this really doesn't help you. I mean, because nobody is discussing life without education. It's not relevant to the paragraph. All right? The question is, education and just education, or education with various kinds of entertaining elements that make education feel lighter? This is what's being discussed here. So this entire sentence is absolutely relevant, okay? So you could have left it out, and then you could have started just with this sentence. Gaining fundamental education is important, but all study and no play can have detrimental effects on students. That makes sense. Hence, school management should indulge students in recreational activities to rejuvenate them by holding sports competitions or other activities. And then look at this, because, due to, no, you can't do that. Grammatically just doesn't work. Because competition in every field, let me try that again. Because holding some, no, what am I saying here? Let me try it again. Okay. by holding some sports competitions or other activities, because competition in every field causes students to study around the clock in an effort to succeed, or something like that, or something, I don't know, but this is just way too many of these, because due to this fact, it's far too heavy with all of these structural words and not enough meaning. All right, so I want you to kind of think that sometimes simpler is better. You're not doing yourself a service by using all of these structural words here. Okay, let's see. You could have stopped the sentence and then said, one of the results of this stress is that many students suffer mentally, and some even attempt suicide. Okay? According to the survey done by Harvard University, schools which provide art and crafts classes or other activities such as horse riding, swimming, etc., just write etc. please, are more successful in bringing up students with flying colors. Okay, again, it's an attempt at an idiom, an expression here. It's not appropriate. As compared to the schools which are more into providing theoretical classes and students who are more into sports or other activities. Now, all this into is a little conversational, it's informal, it's not appropriate. So let's change that as well. As compared to the schools which focus on providing theoretical classes, and students who focus on sports or other activities are more physically and mentally well and are scholars, plural, as compared D, to those who study dawn to dusk. Moreover, gaining knowledge only from books will bring bookworms with no will bring them where? Will create bookworms with no intellectual knowledge or problem-solving skills. Students will not understand team spirit or sportsmanship. That's the word, sportsmanship, which definitely will not let them get successful. No, which will not help them become successful in their future. For example, in India, a sportswoman named Geeta Phogat is an international wrestler who was a mediocre student, but as part of a sports team, not only did she win a gold medal for her nation, but also raised the name of her family and stood up for girls who are not even allowed to step out of their homes. Okay. Let's see. This doesn't really help you. I mean, I think Geeta and her gold medal are wonderful, but you're not answering the question. What's the question? Should schools only educate, or should they be more entertaining? Okay. You're saying that they should absolutely be more entertaining. So there are a couple of different ways to do this. The first way to do this is to focus just 100% on this aspect. I think schools should be more entertaining. One reason is this, their psychological health. Okay? And then you can develop that. You could say 2 reasons why having entertaining classes helps in the psychological health of students. It helps them unwind. It helps them, de-stress. It kind of provides a much needed mental break from all of the academically rigorous courses that they take during the day. Okay, that's one paragraph. The second paragraph, there are many studies that show that this method of education is actually much more effective, and that there is much to be said about learning through play. So you could say how there are many lessons that can be taught through an enjoyable method using play or games in order to teach lessons, and then you can expand on that. You could give examples about how you can have little mini competitions in the classroom on geography, on science, on whatever. You could also talk about how project-based learning is both enjoyable and very educational. Okay, so I mean, there were lots of ways to do this. There were lots of ways. Let's look at your conclusion now. To conclude, schools are the place where students spend most of the time learning essential skills apart from the knowledge gained from books. And school faculties should also indulge students in leisure time activities so that they should study well by relaxing their mind and body by performing other activities. That's one sentence. Break it up, please. It's just far too long, and when it's so long, the meaning gets lost. All right? Okay, that was about 11 minutes on one essay. So let's take a look at this one. Skills and creativity through activities other than reading. In this competitive era, children spend most of their time doing reading activities and academically related activities. Spend more of their time than on other creative activities. The latter should be opted by the pupils because these activities not only give them relief from stress, but also keep them mentally and physically fit to do their daily chores and study. Stop. Right here. I would get rid of this sentence completely. Completely. Everything here starting with and study, blah, blah, blah. Get rid of it. Then, I completely agree with the given statement and will discuss in brief in upcoming paragraphs. To initiate the... No, let's remove this. Let's just remove this. It's just not natural. It's not appropriate. Let's just get rid of it. Okay, let's see. Burden of studies has... Okay, let's make this a little more natural sounding, shall we? So you could say that due to the increased pressure of our society, studies have also become more demanding in this era. Okay? With the increase in population, the demand of jobs. No, with the increase in population, the competition for jobs, as well as the competition for enrollment in school, is also increasing. Parents work dawn to dusk to fulfill basic needs of the family, which is not only food, shelter, and clothing, but also private coaching for their offspring to score well in their classes. The young generation has turned into bookworms because of all right, where are you going with this? I've read about 4 or 5 sentences, or lines at least, and I don't know what you're arguing. What I'm trying to tell you is that the central idea of each paragraph... Here, let me show you. Look at this. The central idea, where is it? Let me find it. Central topic, a clear central topic within each paragraph. Okay? It has to be clear. I'm now in the 4th or 5th line of your sentence, of your paragraph, and I don't know what you're trying to say. Okay, so just to recapitulate, I want to remind you what the task is asking. Doing an enjoyable activity can develop better skills and more creativity than reading. There are a couple of ways that you could do this essay, all right? The first one is to completely agree, 100%, spend a paragraph talking about how better skills can be created through doing other activities, and the second paragraph focusing on creativity. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to say why anyone would possibly suggest that reading could develop these skills and creativity. Okay, what the justification for that viewpoint is, and then spending your next body paragraph developing why that idea is wrong and why there are other activities that could do this particular task much better. Okay, but so far I have gotten pretty much midway through this paragraph and I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. All right, let me look at it one more time. Okay, It's just very wordy with very little substance, and that's what's creating a problem. So let's see, you're talking about parents working. The young generation has turned into bookworms. As a result, they're getting obese and have poor eyesight. According to the reports of a survey by Harvard University, in India, most of the young people are obese and have poor eyesight because most of their time they live sedentary lifestyles, plural, just to study more and more, to get high marks, and to clear their entrance tests, to get enrolled in any reputed university or college for further studies, or to get a government job. So look where this sentence started. It started all the way here and ended here. Too long. They do not have any intellectual knowledge about what things are going on around them other than things which they read in their books. Moreover, children get frustrated and sometimes also commit suicide due to their parents' pressure, to score well. Okay, off topic. It's just not appropriate. It's not what's being discussed here. Okay, it's completely just off topic. All right, let's move on. Adding to this, many caretakers initiated okay, you're trying much too hard to give to show advanced vocabulary, but this advanced vocabulary is actually making your meaning cloudy and it's not making it clear. So, adding to this, many parents have begun offering their children extracurricular activities because they think that not only studies but also other creative activities are also important for the development of their children. For instance, a child learns patience and feels of learning. I don't know what this means. Whether he loses or wins when he takes part in games. Full stop. Also, teamwork and cooperation, double O, are also learnt by them. By whom? By what? Many other skills like problem-solving activities or handling difficult situations can also be taught to them by occupying them in games, whether those are A-R-E, indoor or outdoor. All right, again, you're not talking to me about creativity. You're not talking to me about skills. I mean, maybe a little bit about skills. Maybe a little. Teamwork and cooperation, but you don't develop it. So you give me essentially a list. It's not a well-structured paragraph. It's not following the template for sure. I can guarantee you that 100%. So you need to revise the template. You need to review it to see what's going on and how you can follow it more appropriately. In conclusion, all around A development is a need of an hour, so parents should teach and should spend some of their time doing rejuvenating creative activities other than only telling their, I can't read, I don't understand this. This is wrong, than that of. Telling their children to read books. Otherwise, the day is not far when we will just have children in the form of robotic potatoes with a lot is 2 words of fat and no IQ level of their own. All right, I think I really have spent a lot of time trying to correct this. There is a lot that is problematic. Grammar, task achievement, word choices that it shows that you're really trying very hard to show your level of vocabulary, but a lot of the words are inappropriate. So there's really a lot here that needs to be corrected. I want you to start that right away. Correct it. Try to simplify, try to focus on the task and not just what you think the examiner wants to read, but really what the examiner is actually asking you to talk about. Okay, this was really off topic, so I want you to fix it. Go ahead and do that, and we'll meet again here with your revised essays and your new set of essays. I hope I have given you enough food for thought so that you can start your next set. Okay, good luck.